Hi, I'm Miles Roberts from the Chorley Group, and I'm here today at Vauxhall Ormskirk, which is a new dealership which has just come into the family of Chorley Group. We're here today to look at the Vauxhall Corsa-e, the new electric car with a range up to 204 miles.
Baby, baby, hold me, hold me, baby, baby, hold me, hold me.
So this is the Elite Nav Premium Edition. This is the top of the range specification that the Corsa comes in. So up front here we've got the Lux LED headlamps. Now these are adaptive LEDs that give a fantastic view of the road during the night time. Obviously it's got all the safety features you expect on a modern car. So it's got the radar sensor here for the forward collision detection, camera for lane keeping, etc. Come around the side of the vehicle, you'll see these rather stylish 17-inch alloy wheels with Michelin tyres. These an aero design here, so it helps to cut through the air, helps to reduce resistance and drag. This is where your charging port is, under this flap here, so you've got access in here to your Type 2 charger that you'd use at home. And then underneath we've got this little bung, take that out and that gives us access to the rapid charger CCS port underneath. Moving around the back of the vehicle, we've got rear parking sensors and forward parking sensors on this car. We've also got a reversing camera down here. And it's keyless entry on here, so you just need to walk up, touch the door handle, and as long as the key's on your person, then the door will open for you. Inside the Corsa Electric, it's very, very similar to a normal Corsa. We've got this great LCD display up here, which has got satellite navigation, it's got DAB radio. It's got a USB input so you can watch Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, link your phone through to it. Up here also we've got another TFT display. This shows you how charged the battery is. It can show you your trip information, things like that, and your speed. We've got a reversing camera on here. We've got climate control. We've got heated seats for both front driver and passenger. The climate control can actually link through to an app on your phone. So there's a special Vauxhall Electric app. On there you can set your charging times, you can set what time you want the car to be warm by. So if you want to get in the car at 7:30 in the morning and have a nice warm car to get into in winter, which I'd certainly do, that's great. You can set a timer on here or you can just do it off the app. It's fantastic. Rest of the car very well appointed. We've got, instead of a gear lever, we've got this drive mode selector. So just a little button on the side here to squeeze, and then we move it towards us to put it into drive mode, D, or there's actually a B mode as well, which gives a little bit stronger regenerative braking. We'll try that out in a bit. If we move it forward to reverse, that brings on the reversing camera. But it's all, it feels very much like a normal car in here. We don't have anything too whiz-bang to worry about. It all feels very, very familiar. And so if you're new to electric cars, this would be a great way to just make that first jump. You're not jumping into some sort of spaceship. You're jumping into a Corsa, which, I learned to drive in a Vauxhall Corsa. They've been on the Britain's roads for years, so I think that overall it's a really nice place to be, and it's hopefully going to be a really good electric car for us. In the rear of the Corsa, I've got the front seat set for me, and actually I've got a couple of inches knee room. This is a Corsa, it's a smallish car, remember, but it's actually quite comfortable here. Headroom's okay. We've got 3 headrests in the back, 3 proper 3-point seat belts. Put the headrest up. Yeah, that works okay. So it's fairly basic in the back. There's not much. There's no rear USB chargers or anything like that. But we've got electric windows. We've got comfortable seating for kids or maybe a couple of adults, and everything's as you'd expect, really. Opening the boot, we see we've got a very generous 267 litres of boot space. Small storage space underneath for some compressor and things like that, but yeah, no, a very functional, very square boot. It's easy to fit a lot of things in there, plenty for your monthly, weekly shopping as a family. So I think really we need to get on the road and see how it drives. The Corsa-e has 3 driving modes: normal, Eco and Sport. In Sport mode, you've got 134 brake horsepower, and 0 to 60 comes in just at around 8 seconds. 0 to 31 miles an hour is in 3.2, so around town, and particularly darting out and in finding a little gap and moving into it, is very easy. In normal mode, it drives perfectly fine. It feels to have plenty of torque, plenty of power, and actually I'm currently driving an Eco mode, which restricts power to about 89 brake horsepower, but actually it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's got much more poke. At any point in any of the driving modes, if you put your foot flat to the floor, you override the driving mode and it just gives straight full power straight away. So if you're pulling out of a roundabout in Eco and suddenly a 18-wheeler comes hurtling round towards you, you put your foot down and you can just go straight out and not worry about having to switch between the modes or anything like that. But obviously if you drive in Eco mode, it turns down the climate control a little bit as well. It dulls all of the pedals and everything, so it makes it a little bit less quick to perform, but it does mean you get more range as a result. The quoted range is up to 204 miles. Depending how you drive, we'll see how achievable that might be. At the moment, I'm averaging 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which would be enough to give you around sort of 180 miles of range. But we're going to take it to a rapid charger up here. We're going to see how it charges. Now, the Corsa Electric has got a 100 kilowatt onboard charger on DC, so if you go to a Motorway services and they've got a fast charger, you can take advantage of that extra charging speed with this car. Some other cars are limited to just 50 kilowatts, which was fine for the older rapid chargers, but these new ones that come along, like the one we're going to go to here just near the motorway, are rated at 150 kilowatts. So it's best, if possible, if the car can accept that and you can charge a bit faster. I mean, you can get on your way that little bit sooner. It's also got a Type 2 7 kilowatt onboard charger, so for charging at home, a full charge will take around 7 hours from 0 to 100%, which is perfectly achievable for an overnight charge, and would cost you at home probably about £4, £5 depending on your home electric tariff. So we'll take it down to this rapid charger, we'll see how it performs there, and then we're going to take it on a bit further drive and see how we do range-wise. So here at the BP garage on Crow Orchard Lane, just off junction 27 of the M6, they've put in this bank of Swarco rapid chargers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rapid chargers, all at 150 kilowatts. So these are the sort of developments that petrol stations are putting in so that EV drivers have more confidence in doing the long journeys. So that rather than just having one rapid charge that you might be fighting over, instead there's a bank of them and you can all charge together, much as you would with a petrol forecourt. And so this car can charge it up to 100 kilowatts, depending on how fully charged the battery already is. Now, the battery is already full here, so when I've plugged in, it's only charged at 30 kilowatts charge rate. But that's still adding around 110 miles of range in an hour if you were to be plugged in. So these sort of rapid chargers do make it very, very possible to do long-distance journeys in electric cars. Although for the majority of people, this sort of car is going to be used primarily around the city. It's certainly very, very possible to use it for those visits to relatives, once lockdown finishes. So the Corsa-e is just as at home on the motorway as it is around town. We're currently on the M65, cruising at 70 on cruise control. And the car's getting about 3 miles per kilowatt hour, so I expect that on a full charge, if you're just driving on motorway all the way, you'd probably get around 150 miles of range, as opposed to the 204 that you might get if you were around town. But still, that's equal to 2.5, 3 hours of driving on the motorway, by which point you'd be welcome to have a break anyway. I think if you've been driving for 150 miles, you'd want a half-hour stop. So, again, very usable car for every day, a very usable car for longer journeys too. A couple of the features which make the Corsa a bit more safe on the motorway is it's got blind spot monitoring. It's also got lane keep assist as well, so if I steer towards one of these white lines without indicating, it steers back to keep me in the lane. So unless you put the indicator on, in which case it lets you cross the white line. So that's useful actually if you're doing a long journey and you might be getting ever so slightly tired. It helps you've got a second system keeping an eye on you, making sure that you're safe. So we've arrived back in Burnley after our drive from Ormskirk. We've been up to Rivington, we've been on the motorway, we've done a variety of drive types, and kept to the speed limit pretty much all the time. So 70 at cruise control on the motorway, and obviously 50 in a 50, 30 in a 30, etc. Our range at the moment, we've used about a third of the battery to do just about 50 miles. So I think real world, you're probably going to get around 150 miles charge if you're using the heater, if you're driving on the motorway, that sort of thing. Perhaps in summer on a warmer day, you might be able to get close to the 200 miles that they claim. If you'd like more information about this car, if you'd like to arrange a test drive once the lockdowns are finished, please get in contact with Chorley Group, Vauxhall, Ormskirk.